rescued koalas finally being released back into the wild after Australia's bushfires. And while they have coped well in care, we're delighted to finally send our koalas home. J. Small reports Mind Unleashed. Australia experienced a long and devastating 2019-20 bushfire season, which started with several uncontrolled fires in June 2019. It reached its peak in December and January. It was the worst summer fire season in recorded history of Australia. The impact on the environment and wildlife was unprecedented, and last week locals, and indeed the rest of the world, were delighted with the news of the first release of koalas back into the wild. After being rescued, the koalas were living at the Taronga Zoo before the 13 koalas, including a mom with a tiny joey in her pouch, were released back into their natural habitat in the Blue Mountains last week. Wildlife conservation nonprofit Science for Wildlife, in collaboration with San Diego Zoo Global, rescued a number of koalas ahead of their eucalyptus trees being engulfed by flames. Their release into Canangra Boyd National Park, in the site of state of New South Wales, is the first step of a rehabilitation plan in the hope of restoring the koala population in the area, which had been decimated by the more than 10,000 koalas that were lost in the fire in that area. Dr. Kelly Lay, the executive director for Science for Wildlife, said in a statement, "While they have coped well in care and we are delighted to finally send our koalas home, we've been busy assessing the burnt area that we rescue them from to establish when the conditions have improved enough that the trees can support them again. The recent rains have helped, and there is now plenty of new growth for them to eat, so the time is right. We will be radio tracking them and keeping a close eye on them to make sure that they're settled in okay." Taronga Zoo experts treated more than 100 koalas across 2 hospitals during the bushfire crisis, and although the coronavirus has been on the forefront of news, scientists have since been able to provide more information on the devastating damage caused by the bushfires. More than 12.6 million hectares across Australia have been burned and released 434 million tons of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere from September 2019 to February 2020, compared to 532 million tons released by Australia industry during 2018 and 19. That was calculated by senior scientist Mark Parrington from the Copernicus Atmosphere Monitoring Service, CAMS for short, from England, which is the European Union's Earth Observation Program. And then if you expand it to include invertebrates, as many as 240 billion have been incinerated by the fires in just New South Wales and Victoria alone. This is what Professor Dickman said. So yes, 1 billion sounds a big number, but it's a very conservative one, he said. This by Jade Small on the Minds Unleashed Creative Commons. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.